to do a daylily video, as you can see. And these daylilies are on the side of my house. I was going to pull them out. When I moved here, we had a whole lot of them, and they will just completely take over. So I pulled all of them out, and a few of them just decided they wanted to keep coming. So I left them. And this year I figured I better, do a little video on this. I like to do my videos on wild edibles and tell you about the medicinal parts of it. You can further do research on books and Google sources and other sources that you may find. But this is the daylily, and these are the most common. These can be the tiger lilies are wild, and the orange are the ones that I'm familiar with eating. So this one, the Latin name is Hemerocallis, and the meaning of it is beautiful for a day. So which means they open during the day, they bloom during the day, and they'll close at night, and they're done. They're just a one-day plant, or say flower. So there are over 80,000 varieties, and they're like a very drought resistant, tolerant, and they're excellent for erosion control. So the buds are really high in vitamin A and C, protein, magnesium, phosphorus, iron, calcium, sodium, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin B3, which helps the brain function, helps lower cholesterol, and helps arthritis. And it has probably more than what I'm telling you, but I'm just giving you a little rundown. Like I said, you could do a little more research on it. The flowers are antispasmodic, they're sedative, they're laxative, so you really don't want to eat too many. You can pull off a little leaf, or a petal, and take a nibble on it and see how you like it and see how it tastes to you. You don't want to overdo them. Just remember they're emetic. The extracts are used as a fever reducer, a painkiller. It's good for breast cancer, PTSD, blood purifier. It's a mild painkiller. So in large quantities, they say they're hallucinogenic. So by boiling them, it removes the effects. So you want to eat them in small amounts. You don't want to go filling a whole bowl up with them and eating them the first time you've ever tried them, because you may have a reaction because your body isn't, I've eaten them plenty of times. So my body's used to eating them, and I know what I can handle and what I can't handle on them. So in the 1920s, they started hybridizing them. And from what I learned from my teachers years ago, they said, stay away from anything that's really hybridized, like the really colorful ones, because I'm sure there's medicinal value to them, but I also do believe that they are not the wild, and we're doing wild edibles. And if that's the only thing you had to eat, then go ahead and try it. But I think we can find a lot of these in the woods, or not woods, I'm sorry. They do grow a lot on the sides of the roads. Don't pick them on the sides of the roads. We have a lot of pollution from our cars, from the salt trucks in the wintertime. Who knows? You got farm trucks that go by and they use herbicides and pesticides. Just think more clearly before you go ahead and harvest something on the side of the roads. You want to make sure that it's something that maybe you've grown in your backyard, or it's wild in your backyard, or you're somewhere away from the high traffic areas. These are a popular staple in an Asian cuisine. They're either fresh or dried. Every part of the lily is edible. All lilies are edible, but like I just said, you just want to probably stay away from the ones that are really cultivated, the colorful ones. They say that the yellow ones are the tastiest. I've never had the yellow ones, and they are the most common ones. I've only found, like I said, the orange ones are the ones that I use, the daylily, because this is the one that I'm familiar with. So you just want to be mindful, be very mindful. I like the orange ones myself. So the daylily shoots, the young shoots or tubers, right around maybe 5 inches or so, are edible. They're boiled like a potato. They're antimicrobial, anti-parasitic. You can eat the tubers, the young roots. The juice is an antidote for arsenic poisoning. The shoots, the flowers, the buds, they're rich in iron in the flower. You can eat them in salads, soups, and stews. You see these older ones? You can take these off and dry them and save them and have them for your stews and your soups and things that you're cooking later on. So don't think that these are, oh, they're gone by, they're dead. No, you want to, I'll pull these off tonight, and I have a whole bowl of them. So I'm going to be going in after I do 2 videos. One video is really to tell you about the wild edible, and the second video is usually I just go in and I cook it, and I show you how to make wild dishes and edibles with it. So I'm not going to dig up the tubers. I just don't really think I need to do that and cook them for you. You can get an understanding that you can eat them. There's a lot of videos out there too that people have boiled them down and cooked them, but they say that the root juice is an antidote for arsenic poisoning, which is really interesting. The shoots, the flower buds, like I said, they're rich in iron. The flowers, you can eat them in salad, soup, stews. They've also made cordage from the older leaves, and they also use it to make footwear and bedding and ground covering. So I thought that was pretty interesting because they're pretty thick and leathery. The leaves on the ground, I'm pointing, you can see the leaves. You can eat those also. So the daylily tea, you can add the lilies to the tea water fresh and steep them for about 7 to 10 minutes, and you can serve that hot or cold. I may do that for the cooking video. If I have a moment, I'll make the tea. The tiger lilies, a lot of you are familiar with the tiger lilies, and the tiger lilies are the ones that have little spots on them and they look like a little tiger. That's why they're called tiger lily. Those are also edible. They're anti-inflammatory, they're diuretic, they're emmenagogue, they're expectorant. It relieves heart disease, pain in the cardiac region, and the angina pectoris, used to treat coughs, sore throats, palpitations, and boils. Bulbs are baked or roasted like potatoes. They taste similar to turnips. Remember, these are toxic to feline, to cats. So don't let your cats chew on any of these because it can cause kidney failure. The leaves, the flowers, the tubers, the buds the day before they bloom, like these. The day before they bloom, like I can pull these off and I can put them in a flour of any choice, and I can deep fry them. So always make sure that you do a nibble test, which we were taught. Just nibble it and make sure that it's something that isn't going to, give you an upset stomach or whatever, because you're probably not used to it. Or, like I said in the past, many people are very toxic, and a lot of your wild edibles definitely can do some detoxing. So eat with your mind and think, maybe I'll just do a little bit to see if I have a reaction. Not that they're poisonous, but they're really going in and probably doing something to you that you don't want it to do. So remember, everybody's different and everybody has sensitivities. So you want to do this with all of your wild edibles. Don't just assume. So I'm going to give you a few things that you can actually cook these for or make with them. You can cook the tubers with potatoes and garlic scapes, basil, butter, salt and pepper, so it makes a really nice little dish and you're getting some nutrients. Number 2 would be the daylily salad. You can add the petals and fried daylily. You can fry the daylily petals. You can put in stir fries. Number 3 would be, make a stir fry of the lily leaves. We're going to do a few of these. I'm going to make the cheese stuffed lilies, which I'm going to use a vegan type cheese. You can use whatever you want, but I'm going to show you how to do it. It's so fun. We used to always do these in our class. Stir-fried buds and the green buds with a flour batter of your choice. The lily petals, you take these petals and you can fry those up, and they will get nice and crispy and crunchy, and you can put them on your salads or on the top of a dish, a casserole dish. The lily tea, which I talked about, number 7. Number 8 would be just throw them in the salad. You can chop them up or just leave them whole. They make a beautiful salad. You can throw it all in there. Number 9, the dried flowers for stews and soups, which would be these closed ones. Here's one back here. You can take these off and cook them also. I'm sure there's other things that I'm probably not mentioning, but you get the idea. So that's it. I'm 10 minutes long here with my little video, and I hope my video you can hear me a lot better. I bought this awesome cheap little microphone that makes a big difference. And there's a lot of background noise because there's a lot of traffic. So I really enjoy having this little microphone that plugs right into my phone when I'm doing my videos. So if you have questions, you can leave me a comment. Their comments are open now on my YouTube channel. I found out why that people weren't able to make comments was I was putting it in a safe for children mode, and I didn't realize that it wasn't able to make comments in that mode. So now you can do comments, or you can go on my website, which is vermontpureherbs.com, or on my Facebook, which is Vermont Pure Herbs, and leave a comment there. If you have questions, you can leave questions through the website also about any of the herbal remedies that are on there and that are available at this time. So please leave a like and share with your friends, because it really helps my business grow and it helps people get this information out there, especially in the times we're at right now. We start learning our wild edibles because you never know when you're really going to need them. So for now, be safe. Use your head when it comes to wild edibles, and if you have questions, feel free to, ask me, and if I don't know, I will find someone that does. So enjoy this wonderful day, and peace.
In the crystalline knowledge of you, drove me through the mountain, through the crystal like a cliff.
Hey everyone, I'm back doing the second part of our daylilies, and I'm just heating up the stove right now. Gotta turn it down a little bit, but we are going to do these daylilies that are stuffed with cream cheese, and I did use a vegan cream cheese. And also we're going to do these here, the unopened flowers. We're going to stir fry them with a batter. And the batter, what I use is, you can just use anything you want. I just use this King Arthur pancake mix. You can use whatever you want for a batter. I don't use eggs, so all I do is add coconut milk to that batter, and this is the coconut milk that I use just to make it look like this, and then stir fry them up. So I have made this beautiful tea so far with the petals, as you can see it. Tea is really good. I like the tea. And then these are the tubers that are already cooked. I cooked them up for about 15, well, not even 15 minutes. It was a little less than that. So they taste like little potatoes. And if you pop them open, you can see that they look like little potatoes inside. So you can add them to any dishes that you want. And then you have these the ones that have already been dried. You can add those to soups and stews. And then we're going to take these petals and we're going to not deep fry, but you fry them in the pan, you'll see, and I'm going to dip those in the batter also. So there's quite a few things that we're going to do here, and we're going to start off right now. I don't want these pans to get too hot. Is the batter. I'm going to do a few of these. I do have my tongs. I can use those. Just going to dip them right in there and get them put right in. I can do a few of those. So we're going to throw maybe a couple more. I'm not going to do too many, but because you're going to get the idea. You don't need to use egg. If you're someone that's allergic to eggs or you can't use eggs, you can always use flaxseed or chia seeds to thicken it, but I've made them without it and it seems to be fine. So these are the little petals. We're going to cover these babies right up and we'll put those in. And I like this little pan. It's perfect for frying these guys up. This could be a really long video, but I'm going to try to keep it under 10-12 minutes. It's just very hard to load videos up that are too long. So you get in the picture, and the reason why I do these is just to show you hands-on. People are visual learners, not book learners anymore like we did back in the day. Everything we learned was from a book. So here are your little fritters. These are the daylily buds before the flowers open, and the petals. And over here, while I've got everything rocking and rolling, I might as well put these right in. These are the cheese-filled daylilies, and those are going right in. And then I have a couple. Those have a little toothpicks in them, and the ones that I have here, if you don't have toothpicks, I just wanted to show you can do them without the toothpicks. And these have cheese in them also. See the cheese? Just stuffed them. I'll have plenty of pictures that you can see too. So you don't want to do anything on high heat because then you'll end up frying and burning everything. So just on low heat. Takes a little bit longer to cook things, but then again you'll have a really good tasting wild edible. So once you see they look like a pancake type of bubbles, you can flip them, and then they turn into these yummy little pancake fritters, and they're so good. The petals are really good. They don't take very long to cook, so you gotta watch everything pretty quickly. They're fun. Remember, these are wild edible, so if you are someone that is foraging and you wanted to have some fun dishes, this is the way to do it with your friends. Teach them how to eat. Remember the hostas? Those were fun. Of course, there's no hosta shoots right now. You have to get them when the shoots are available. So here, these here will close. They'll start to close on their own. That's why you really don't need, when we learned how to do this, this is how we did it. We never had toothpicks. We just cooked them. So you want to keep turning them so they don't burn on one side. I have it on like number 3. They pay a lot of money for these in restaurants. These are like a delicacy, and they put them on the side of the dish plate when they come, or it's an appetizer. It's like, I don't even know how much it is, but I bet it's quite a bit of money just for this little appetizer. Cream cheese filled daylilies, and they are good. Oops, my cheese is coming out. But they are fun, and when you're, of course, when it's time to eat them, just take the toothpick out. See, it doesn't really matter if you have a toothpick in it or not. They're still gonna cook really nice. So these don't take very long. The petals are really good. They're crunchy. You can cook these till they're crispy. Another thing is you can deep fry the little petals. I'm not gonna do that. I just don't have the, well, let me just throw one in and I'll show you. Once you put them in, they'll start to cook like a, I hate to say bacon, but it does. It will cook right up and fry up like a bacon, and when they're done, they're very crispy and crunchy. You can put them on your salads. You know, there's lots of things you can do with them. And then we also have these, which are the greens, and I did find some little tiny shoots. You can put those with a little butter or coconut oil. I was going to throw them in here if we have time when these are done and cooked. You can deep fry these also with the cheese in them. There's like a lot of different ways you can cook these wild edibles. You can make them fun. You know, you can present them in beautiful dishes. I don't have any fancy dishes. I just have flowers and stuff on my dishes, but I had picked quite a few of these. I'll probably cook them up later. I just want to be able to show you the fritters, the buds that are dipped in batter, the stuffed daylilies, the daylily petals that are dipped in the batter, which are right here. I'm going to put them back on this plate because I have a napkin all set for it. And you can use tongs or a fork. I just like to use the fork, makes it much easier. And these I can turn right off because these cast iron pans will stay hot for a really long time. So I know you guys will be able to hear me now. I have my new microphone hooked up to my phone, so make things a lot easier over the crackling sounds of the pans. So the tubers, you could always just throw the tubers in here. You can cook them ahead of time and throw them in here and warm them up and have those as a side dish or on the side of your dish also. And these are, once the little stems here, I find once these little stems here are soft, and that means you're getting there. They're almost done. So that doesn't take very long. These can be deep fried as well, but I wasn't going to mess around with that today. So this one's done. You can use a corn batter if you just are allergic to everything in the world and you can't eat stuff. So make a corn mash, masa, flour, batter. They almost look like little fish. I don't eat fish either. I'm not a pescatarian. So this little guy here looks like it's not done, but when you take it out and you let it cool off, they get very crunchy. I like them. I've had quite a few of them. That's another thing though. I'm used to wild edibles. So if you're going to make these, you're going to have to do a food test. Don't go eating a whole bunch. And I've said this in my other video, but I'm going to say it again. Always do a taste test on everything. You know, don't go assuming that you can just go and eat wild edibles. Wild edibles are very potent, you know, in flavor and they're medicinal. Too many will give you loose bowels, and nobody wants that. Also, the petals you can eat raw and put them in salads. I probably already said that, but I just wanted to mention it again. So if you're not anywhere to be able to cook something, you don't have to use oil. If you were somewhere and you needed food, you could just put them with a little bit of water and put them on a outdoor camp if you had to look for food. So we're doing this as a luxury with the coconut oil and stuff, and you don't really have to do that. And you could eat them raw. If you are stranded and all you have is a campfire, well, that's what you would do. You would literally just take these and, oops, I can have my tongs, and cook them right up on your campfire. And you know, you're going to get a lot of medicinal values like the iron. You're going to get some protein. It's not like you're not going to get any value out of them. It's not like we're just foraging just to forage. We're literally having some sustenance, some food. So here are the little petals, not petals, I'm sorry. These are the little greens. I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to do a whole lot of these right now. But you know, you cook these up like we did all the other greens, like we did the dandelion greens, and how we do the nettles greens, and also how we do the hostas. So I don't have time to do those right now, but you get the idea. And these are really good by themselves too. So that's it for the demonstration on the wild edibles of the daylily, and I'm going to have some of these right now. If you have any questions, please, you know, leave me a comment, and you know, give it a thumbs up on my YouTube channel, which is Vermont Pure Herbs, and also on my Facebook, which is Vermont Pure Herbs, and Instagram. I will answer any questions you have. You can go on my website, which is www.vermontpureherbs.com, and you can also message me through my website. And I hope you enjoyed this video on the wild edible daylilies. Be safe and peace. everyone. So I am back and we are going to finish up the shoots of the daylilies. So this is just garlic and ginger that I have going on in here right now. So I didn't have time to do it, but I do now. I have all kinds of time now. So here is just a little bit of ginger and garlic cooking up, and we're going to throw in these. Let me see if I can put these in a bowl so I can show them to you. These are the daylily shoots, and we're a little bit later in the year, so that it's okay as long as you can find like some tender ones. Like these are really tender. Leaves, sorry, not the flowers, the leaves. And I'm going to stir fry these up. They do taste a little lemony. They're really good tasting. They're beneficial as well. They do have a lot of medicinal properties to them, high in vitamin C, a lot of minerals. So I just want to make this short video to add on to the other one to show you how quick and easy like you could take these shoots. And even though we're a little later in the season, you still could find food on the daylily plants. The stalks have gone. Some of them are dried up right now. So basically, all you're doing is stir frying these leaves, shoots, the ones that come up, the really tender ones. As the leaves get bigger, they get tougher, and they're actually used as cordage. So I'm going to show you. I was just messing around and I made like a little bracelet out of the cordage. It wasn't that long, but you can keep adding on to it and twisting it, and it's really tough. Like, it's pretty strong. You can make cordage out of a lot of your wild edibles when they start dying back. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to focus in. But that was just out of one of the leaves that had died back. It's kind of neat. I mean, you got your hemp, you got your nettles, you get all kinds of cordage, you get your burdock. You can make cordage out of a lot of your wild edibles. So we are just going to cook these little leaves up and put them in a plate. And this is really simple. You don't really need a degree to do this part. It's the same as a lot of my I mean, if you wanted to throw in some mushrooms in here and some carrots to make it nice and bright and pretty, and you can do that as well. These are just the leaf part that I didn't get time to do in the video, but you'll see everything else before this video here. How to eat the flowers, the little bulbs. The bulbs are very nutritious. They have a lot of nutritional value to them. So you can find me on YouTube under Vermont Pure Herbs. You can find me on Instagram, Vermont Pure Herbs. Everything is Vermont Pure Herbs. You can Google me and look at my Google reviews. You can also find my website is vermontpureherbs.com. It's a brand new website. I'm still loading products on. Summertime really isn't a time for me to sit in front of a computer. I'm usually outside. So what's on there right now is it's going to be on there until this fall. I'll be adding more products on there soon. So these don't take very long. If you find them a little tough, then that means they've just gone by. Like these dark green ones will probably be a little tougher. If you cook them a little bit longer, they might soften up. You could probably boil them and get them a little softer and then put them in your stir fry like I've done with other edibles. If the leaves are a little tougher. They're not bitter. These actually taste very sweet. They have a sweet taste to them. This probably would be nice if it had a little mushroom in it. Like wild mushroom. But that's it. It doesn't take too long to cook this little dish up. You won't see it without for a dish to dish it up for you. So if you have any questions, you can definitely leave comments. I haven't figured out yet how to turn on the comments on my YouTube channel yet. There's something different about it, and no one can leave comments, which is really odd. I haven't figured it out yet. So in the springtime, you can pull the shoots that are coming up, and those are very tender. Like I said, we're a little later into the season, but the tender ones are much tastier, and you know, they're not fibrous. Or later on they'll be fibrous. So you can put this on your rice. You could put it on quinoa. You can eat it just the way it is. You can always, for people that haven't seen my videos before, a little bit of water just enhances it a little bit more. It gives it a little more, makes them softer, and gets more flavor. And you don't burn them. You don't want to burn your wild edibles. They just taste like crap if you do that. So I think this is done. I'm going to turn it off. Remember, your cast iron pans will stay hot for a long time. Do not grab them. Do not turn this on way high. Like I had this on 5 and it was still pretty hot. So once you heat your pans up, you have to turn them down. Otherwise you're going to burn all your wild edibles. And if you were in the woods, you would just have to be careful with your flame. So daylilies can take over. They can be pretty invasive. So it doesn't hurt if you weed them out. If you cut these shoots off, you're not going to get any daylilies for the summer. So if you want to weed them out, that's a way to do it. And also the tubers, if you, believe me, I have dug up so many tubers and they still find their way back. Still hanging around. But they are a staple food. They are a wild edible. And these are the orange daylilies. You get the tiger lilies also, which are edible. I caution on eating anything that is cultivated, just because you don't really know. They're a hybrid type, but they're cultivated for their colors and their beauty. Just stick with the tiger lilies or stick with your wild orange lilies. Just, you know, be on the safe side. This way you're not eating something that is going to make you sick to your stomach. Also, make sure you're with somebody that knows what they're doing before you do any of this. It's just easier not to get yourself in trouble in eating something that could be toxic. So here we go with the little dish. If I had a flower, I'd put a flower on it, but I don't. And this is just your daily tender shoots that come up, but I actually had cut off the tender parts, and then my little daylily dried parts, that the leaves that had dried back, just to make cordage out of it. It's fun. You can do this with the kids. You know, kids really like making stuff when they're little. They have fun with it. But that's it, folks. I just wanted to do this video to add on to the other daylily video to show you how to cook the tender shoots, or the tips from the leaves that are not fibrous. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace.